Welcome to Pull Addiction, where I like to do pull and billiards equipment reviews as well as anything pull and billiards related for that matter. And I'm finally getting around to this comparison test that I've been promising over the last few months. This video has come about because I received several comments on my shaft reviews where I didn't do enough low deflection shot examples or going too much into the metrics of that, just exactly how much low deflection each shaft was. So what I decided to do is to take all the shafts I've reviewed so far and put them into one big video. I picked out a bunch of different comparison tests to do, and as a result, I have a lot of footage to go through. I also decided to do a two-part video to this because of all the footage that I had. The first video, this one, is going to be on the physical attributes of each shaft and how they stack up against each other. The second part is going to be the actual deflection shots themselves and a bunch of other shots to show comparisons. And hopefully I can have that video out in a couple of weeks after this one. Now, like I said, this one's going to be on the physical attributes, so the things we're going to be covering today are going to be the weight, the tip size and tip type, the taper length, the joint size, the actual look and finish of each shaft, the balance point of each shaft. We're also going to do a slow motion vibration test, a audible tap test, and we're going to finish everything off with Dr. Dave's natural pivot point test. So like I said, with 5 shafts, that's a lot of tests to go through, so let's just get into this. First up, the weigh-in. Now I have my scale here. This is a newer scale that I'm getting used to, and it's proven to be pretty darn sensitive. One thing I like about it though is it does go all the way down to the thousandths range, which is pretty nice. I have a towel on top to help prevent the shaft from rolling off when we do the measurements. And if you notice, it's the billiards towel that I did a review on in my last video. If you haven't seen that video, I definitely recommend checking it out. One thing you want to make sure you do when you're doing a measurement with a towel on top of your scale though is to zeroize your scale to the towel, so you get an accurate measurement on your shaft. Now, it's not a big deal if you don't, because you just can do a pre-measurement with your towel on there, get that weight, and then subtract it off the shaft weight when you weigh the shaft. So let's get into this. First one up is the standard maple shaft that came with my cue. And the measurement on that comes in at 3.722 ounces. Next one is the first review that I did, the HXT skinny shaft. Nice budget, low deflection wood shaft. And it's coming in at 3.571 ounces. Now the next one is the Predator Revo, the first carbon fiber shaft that I actually reviewed on the channel. And the Revo coming in at 3.913 ounces. The second carbon fiber shaft that I reviewed is the Cynergy 15K, and the third shaft that I reviewed overall. The measurement weigh-in on Cynergy 15K is 3.777 ounces. And the last and most recent shaft I did a review on was the BQ Prime M carbon fiber shaft, and its weight, gotta adjust the zeroize, there we go, and its weight comes in at 4.284 ounces. Now for the tip measurements, as well as the tip brands that are on these shafts we're comparing today. I have my handy digital micrometer here with nice big numbers on here, so hopefully you'll be able to see it on the screen as we do the measurements. And the first one up is going to be the standard shaft that came with my cue. And the measurement on this tip is going to be 12.38 millimeters. And the tip brand on here is a Zan Premium Soft, and it's a really nice tip, and I haven't used it too much lately, and it looks like it's still in good shape though. Next up is the first shaft I reviewed, the HXT skinny shaft, and its measurement is coming in at 11.81 millimeters. Right. Yep, 11.81 millimeters. And the tip that's on this one is a Kamui Black Soft. And this is actually, let's see if I can get it into focus there. This is actually the tip that came with this shaft. And it's pretty nice to see a budget-oriented shaft come with a premium tip. And it's pretty nice. I've never had to change it, and it plays really well. The next shaft up is the Predator Revo, which was the second shaft I reviewed. And its measurement is coming in at, get on there. Get on there. There we go. 12.48 millimeters. And the tip on this one is a premium Zan Premium Soft as well. Get it into focus there. There it is. And the original tip that comes with this is a Victory Soft, which is Predator's proprietary tip. And I wasn't a big fan of it, as if you've seen the review that I did on this. And I did change it to a Kamui Brown Soft, and I wasn't a fan of that one either. But this Zan Premium Soft is definitely really nice, and I do like it on this shaft. The fourth shaft is the Q-Tech Cynergy. And let's get its measurement. And it's coming in at 12.50 millimeters. The tip on here is a Zan Premium Soft again. I had a Kamui Brown Soft on this one as well, and wasn't a big fan of it. If you've seen the review for the Q-Tech Cynergy shaft review, you know that I didn't like that Kamui Brown Soft on it. But this Zan Premium Soft is really, really nice on there. I think this is definitely the way to go with this particular shaft. And the last shaft we're reviewing today is the BQ Prime M, and we're actually not reviewing it. We are going to be doing the comparison, and its tip comes in at 12.18 millimeters. The tip on here is a Kamui Black Soft. It's not the original tip that came with this. BQ has their own proprietary, and it's called the Core. Not a fan of it. However, this Kamui Black Soft is definitely really nice on this shaft. All right, let's talk about the taper lengths on each of these shafts now. All these shafts are pro style tapers, so they extend down the shaft a certain amount. We're going to try to take as best of a measurement as possible off each of these shafts to see how long that taper length is. First off, the standard shaft, looking at its taper length, we're looking at it stopping right about the 16.5-inch mark. The HXT skinny shaft, its pro style taper looks like it ends right about the 16.5-inch mark. The Predator Revo, its taper appears to stop right about between, I'd say 15.5, maybe 16. The Q-Tech Cynergy 15K, taper on it looks like it stops right about 15.5. And lastly, the BQ Prime M's taper looks like it stops right at 16. So there's the taper lengths. Joint measurements can vary slightly between manufacturers. Typically, I've seen anywhere from 0.828 inches to all the way up to 0.848 inches, which you're talking about very minor differences. And in my experience, I've had a few shafts that didn't marry up quite perfect with my Q-butt, and I haven't really noticed that much of a performance difference, if any at all. But I mean, if you marry up a 0.838 to a 0.848, you're going to have, if you run your fingernail down it, you're going to have that little catch lip on the joint itself. And I figured since we're going ahead and doing this in-depth comparison, it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and throw in the joint measurements of each of these shafts as well. So one thing with the digital caliper, I have changed it over to inches since we typically measure the joint width in inches. And let's see what we got. First one up is the standard shaft, which comes in at 0.8375. The HXT skinny comes in at 0.8440. The Revo comes in at 0.8375. The Cynergy 0.8390. And the Prime M comes in at 0.8365. So as you can see, slight variances between them all, and I've had them all in the same Q butt playing with them, and it's very negligible on the differences that you notice. Now for the sound test. This is a test that I've seen a few people use to kind of gauge the audible noise that you may get from these shafts. And basically all they're doing is tapping the shaft on a ball. I'm not sure how helpful this is, but I figured, what the heck, let's go ahead and throw this in as well. I have my standard shaft. It's attached to the Q butt, and I plan on having these attached to the Q butt the whole time. And to take it a step further, I'm going to do the tap test down the length of the shaft so we have an idea of what it sounds like throughout the entire shaft itself. So this is a standard shaft. All right, next up is the HXT skinny shaft. Now for the Predator Revo. The Q-Tech Cynergy. Now for the Prime M. So that's it for the physical attributes on the shafts. Some of the things that surprised me, the carbon fiber shafts weighing more than the wood shafts, as well as the BQ Prime M's balance point being so far back compared to the other shafts. And the last one was the Revo on Dr. Dave's natural pivot test. He got 19 inches in his video, whereas I got 17. I'm not sure why, maybe the conditions or the size of the table, but 17 inches is what I got. Hopefully you liked what you saw. If you did, hit that like button. If you got any questions or comments, put them in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, what are you waiting for? Please do so. I really could use the support. And hopefully I'll have part 2 to this video out in the next couple weeks. So until then, I'll see you in that one.